to reward people.
Mm.
The way we conduct ourselves, the way we want to position ourselves, in short, our whole life, everyday choices that we make, they have a root within us by answering one question. Whatever I'm about to do, or I'm going to do, or I want to do, is this gonna take power away from me, or is it gonna give me power? That's the struggle we all have.
तो क्या ये लाशऊरी तौर पे हो रहा होता है या ये कॉन्शियस अमल है?
This is a very interesting question, and it requires us to further go deeper into the understanding. As you said, is it happening subconsciously या ये conscious level पे हो रहा होता है? तो उसको थोड़ा सा explore करने के लिए I will have to go again into the background of this. ठीक है? Let's understand this in this context. When we are born, इंसान पैदा होता है. Nature requires us. By nature, we need instructions and directions to live our life. That is why we have parents, we have teachers, we have mentors in our life. जब एक बच्चा पैदा होता है, the child requires directions and instructions. अब वो direction और instructions का मतलब या मकसद क्या होता है? How do I receive direction and instruction? At one level will be how to work with my own body. Similarly, I would require direction and instructions on how to work with my mind, how to work with my emotions, how to work with my conscience, with my own self. When we are born, we don't have the knows and hows of these things. We require directions and instructions to work at the best of our abilities. But having said that, let's consider another possibility. What happens if we don't receive these directions and instructions?
We still grow up.
Exactly. Does that mean we are not going to grow up, or we are not going to basically survive? What will happen is that we will survive, but nature by default is going to take over as a teacher for us. Since we do not have any other direction and teacher, our basic nature and instinct is going to take over as a teacher for us. Now,
fair enough. And here comes another question that we, children from birth to, let's say, infancy, and as they're growing up, they're taking influences from what they're observing subconsciously. Is this not true? And at times, that direction, if it's not coming deliberately from parents and from teachers and mentors, then they are in any event or in any case learning. Whether it's good for them, not good for them is another story. But the fact is that learning is a process that's happening at a subconscious level anyway, through observation and experience. Is that right?
Yes, but again, that learning is not directed in any direction. It's happening haphazardly.
Yeah, it's random.
It's random. So imagine you're sitting in a car, but the steering is not in your hands. What kind of journey, what kind of experience it's going to be?
Hair-raising.
Right? Because although it is taking place, I mean, you're moving from one point to another, you're not static, but it's without any sense of direction.
Correct.
Right? So what happens? What happens truly when our nature instincts take over as a teacher? The key here to understand is our nature and basic instincts are programmed to ensure our survival, not our potential.
Right, right. Survival becomes the driving motive, which is the conditioning from before, from
So
childhood.
it's survival and not the potential. So
Okay.
if we have no direction, no instruction, we can never even get close to the word potential. We will only be operating in the survival mode.
All right. I get it. I get it. Yeah.
Now, if we are operating at the survival mode, what's
Mm,
wrong with that? I mean,
mm,
what's wrong with that,
mm,
right?
mhm,
What happens is, if you look at all other species, including us as well,
mhm.
nature doesn't treat us special in any form or way, by the way. You know, human beings have this illusion that nature thinks we are like special beings, but nature doesn't care. Nature
Mm,
treats us just like any other species,
right.
right? So, by default, nature only facilitates and supports the survival. And it does similarly towards all other species, animals as well, plants as well. सो अगर हम अपनी नेचर और सर्वाइवल के ऊपर रह के परफॉर्म करेंगे तो आवर इंस्टिंक्ट्स आर इक्वल टू एनिमल इंस्टिंक्ट्स.
Wow. On this note, Saima, I would like to shed a light कि education हमारे मुआशरे में एक बहुत बड़ा issue बना हुआ है. And
यस
a lot of 30 million kids don't have access to education at all. And those that have access do not have access to quality education.
यस
कहने को school होगा लेकिन फिर teachers are directionless. So what direction are the kids going to get? So are we in, if I were to project what you have said, are we sort of heading in a direction where we have a growing population which is driven more by the survival instinct and is likely to be behaving in ways which will not be very constructive, and we are not tapping into the potential of uh, of our
एब्सोल्युटली.
of our youth bulge that we often speak of.
अगर हमारे अंदर एक ही मैकेनिज्म एक्टिवेट हुआ हुआ है दैट इज द सर्वाइवल मोड,
Yes.
our we are only going to be acting on our basic instincts which we share similar with animals.
Right. So with this point, I would
Yes,
like us to continue part two and
yes.
ask ourselves, are we at times also at fault? Because ये जो Lincoln quote है, ये बड़ा interesting है और मैं चाह ही रहा हूँ कि when you want to test somebody's character, give them power.
Yes,
So is character essentially an outcome of tarbiyat, of education, of uh, that is given from early childhood so that the human potential comes at its fore?
yes.
And if that is not the case, then power could be quite something else. So let's talk about that in
Absolutely.
part two. I'd love to
Absolutely.
hear about this. Thank you.
Thank you.